Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Cloud Show, coming to you recorded from the ESPC conference in Stockholm. This is a huge conference with so many interesting topics and speakers and everything going on. A lot of the stuff here is about M365, and of course, a lot of it is about Copilot, which is why I have brought the next star onto the show to talk specifically about how to make business users really fall in love with and really adopt to use Copilot. And the star of the Cloud Show is Ulrika. Hello, Ulrika.
Hello, Magnus. It's wonderful to be here.
Yes, two Swedish people interviewing in English. It's wonderful, isn't it?
How's that going to end up? We'll
see. We'll see. So here we are at the ESPC. Pretty big show, right?
Yes, it's my first EPC actually.
Oh, it is it?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Well, extra welcome to you then, and in your home country capital, right? In
Yes.
Stockholm, right?
Yes.
But you've been living elsewhere as well, right?
Exactly. So I am from Sweden.
Yes.
Grown up in Stockholm, but I
That's right.
lived 14 years in the Middle East.
Wow.
In the United Arab Emirates. So for me to come home to ESPC when there's snow and there's a beautiful winter day, I'm loving it.
That's nice. And so, what do you do down there? I mean, what's your business? What's your job? What do you do?
So the background is really that I was working at Microsoft.
Right.
So I worked at Microsoft in Sweden, and then I was transitioned down to the United Arab Emirates and worked at Microsoft in the Gulf region.
Okay.
And then after many years there, I resigned and I set up a company.
Right.
And the focus was really on business users. Now, Microsoft created this amazing products and applications
For business
How
users.
do we get business users to love it
That's
the same
right.
way that they love their iPhone or their iPad?
And the most recent thing that we have to love now, according to Microsoft, is a big push, right, on all the Copilots and AI and stuff, right? So there are all these Copilot business tools and things that we should be using. And the challenge is, how do you actually make people love that?
So I think I want to back it up a little bit. And
let's do it.
I think this is something that Microsoft have for many years, and all technology vendors talk about adoption, right?
Right, exactly.
So adoption. And it really is about getting end users to use the tools.
Exactly.
And I think this is really a combination of many things. First of all, users need to want to use the tools.
Right. So they
and-
need to see some benefit.
Yeah, they need to see some benefit. They also need to know how to use the tools, but you cannot start with how to use them before users actually want to use them.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And there are different techniques that you can use
Marketing?
here. Marketing, absolutely. Internal communication. Do you know what a really big one is?
No.
FOMO.
FOMO. So the pressure.
The pressure. So if everyone gets everything and they're pushed to use it and they have to have it, then it's not going to go down well.
No, that's true.
Yeah, but if you make something, like this is for the ones that really, are the digital leaders and that really are in the forefront, then you can
Okay.
position it a little bit differently.
And so people want to be perceived as being on the forefront, and they want to be part of that. They
Absolutely,
are
because-
afraid of not getting it. Okay.
Exactly. We know, and I'm not just talking about Copilot now.
No.
I'm talking
This is
about
general.
technology in general. You want to have a really good PC. You want to have the most amazing productivity tools in Microsoft
The
365.
phone and all the things,
You
yeah.
want to have the latest. This is it today. Really, to be your very best, you need to have the very best tools. But you also need to know how to use
How
them.
to use them. You can't just have them.
And
There's
And
no
I
point in
think-
having a brand new Porsche if you can't drive it.
Absolutely.
Right?
And some people feel, but they're self-driving and you should just be able to sit in there. But the truth, when it comes to technology, users really need to adopt new ways of working.
Okay.
And this is really what I spend.
This
my
is your
time on.
job. Okay,
This
brilliant.
is my job. And
That's
this
what
is
we should
what
talk
we do.
about on the Cloud Show. What the thing that you do. So you need to show for business users why they should be using the co-pilots and what the benefit is for them to learn a new tool, because they are pressured people for time, right? I don't have time to bother with this new tool unless I see there's a benefit in it for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how do you do this?
How do
It's
we do that?
psychology.
It's psychology. Well,
Yeah.
like I said, there are many different ways,
Okay.
but really, so again, I'm the founder and CEO of Storials,
Right.
and we provide story-based learning that's continuously updated for organizations to inspire, motivate, and
Got it.
educate their users.
Makes sense.
People learn from other people.
Of course.
And people learn from understanding the context and seeing the real life benefit.
Oh, okay.
And so
Okay, that
creating
makes sense.
these stories where you can see the benefit that others are getting, it really helps you to want to learn and apply what you're learning.
Okay.
So this is something that we
okay.
help organizations with. And I
Okay.
feel for many, many years, digital upskilling has been lost.
It's challenging, right? Because there's always something new that you can't do or use yet, the tool, a thing. And like I said, co-pilots are the newest new right now, the current new.
The current new, and I think if we talk about generative AI in the space of learning, this is fantastic. We're all going to have our own productivity coach or learning coach that helps us. Today, Magnus, when you want to learn something, find something, what do you do?
Well, traditionally, I would like Google it or something, and then I go to a Learn page on like Microsoft Learn or something and try to read and understand what it is that I'm supposed to be learning.
And what do you
That's
do now? How do you do now?
Well, I guess now I could try to use a Copilot for it, but I'm not exactly sure how. Maybe you can tell me.
So this is the beauty with Copilot, right?
Okay.
And when I say Copilot, I use both the personal version of Copilot
Of course,
that's
yeah.
available free of charge to anyone
Okay, yeah.
who has a Microsoft account.
Got it.
There's the business version of Copilot in Edge that everyone that has a Microsoft 365 license has as part of their Entra account, where
Right.
you have commercially protected enterprise data protection of the data,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
for business use.
Got
And
it.
then you have the premium, if you say the Microsoft 365 Copilot license, where you get the Copilot functionality included in all of your Microsoft 365 apps,
In all of them.
grounded in the
So-
Microsoft 365 graph and the data.
Got it.
So when I say Copilot, I mean across the board.
Across the board.
Embracing
Okay.
this is across the board for everyone. It
Yeah.
is not just for those who have that premium license. So let me give you an example.
Yeah, please do. That's
Do you have
useful.
kids?
I do.
you
I
say
like-
it with like, oh, I do.
You reminded
It
me.
should be like, I do.
Yes, well, I do. I have big ones now. So
Okay.
18-year and a 15-year-old.
Okay, so maybe you don't sit and do homework with them a lot now.
I actually
these
do
days.
a little bit, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I had this parenting win just recently when I was talking about some geography stuff with my daughter, and then she comes home after her test and she got like an A on the test, and then she said, "You know what? I talked about some of the things that you and I were discussing." I was like, "Parenting win,
Yes.
check." That doesn't happen very often, but it did happen once. I was so happy. Yes,
Well,
I do. So
so-
I help them with homework a
You
little
help
bit.
them out.
Yes.
So I get very annoyed when I just see in the press and when people are saying that kids are cheating because they're using AI.
They're
for-
using
for-
AI,
for
so
work.
it's cheating.
And
Yep.
this is not cheating. I said, this is brilliant. So every time now that I sit and I do homework with my kids,
Yeah.
I use Copilot because you can use it for explain this to a 9-year-old.
Oh, no.
Explain this to a 12-year-old.
Right.
Give me some good questions that I could ask my 9-year-old about, the Newton
That's
or
incredibly cool.
geography, or so it becomes a study buddy for you, and it can
Huh.
really explain things in a way that they
Yeah.
understand.
Got it.
Now, if we transition now into the corporate world,
Mm-hmm.
anything that you need to know about processing payments or GDPR.
Let's say I
or-
want to do that. Let's say I want to know something about GDPR.
Yes.
What do I do?
You open up Copilot.
Where in
yeah,
the
so-
browser?
Yeah, in the browser. So I would recommend, open up Edge.
Mhm.
And if you have Microsoft 365, you have it as part of, you go to office.com or Microsoft365.com
mhm.
and you just search for Copilot, you
Yep.
find it there.
And you find it.
Yeah. And then you say, you tell it, you ask
prompt it.
Copilot, you prompt it, you ask it, teach me about GDPR
and something else.
And then you tell it, I am not knowledgeable about this area. So give me analogies that I can understand. Tell me about the benefits of GDPR, when it was initiated, what it's good for, and give me some Q&A that I can use to be prepared for a discussion or an interview about GDPR.
Wow.
It lists all of that for you.
That's
you
incredibly
don't have
cool.
to go out and read about it in different pages.
Because that's how we did it traditionally, right?
Exactly.
Search engine, and then we have to process and put it together, like and maybe read many things and try to skim through things and am I understanding what I'm reading here?
Exactly. So you can make the learning personalized for you. And then you might prompt about a technology area that you're super advanced in.
Okay.
Then you don't say non-tech. Then you say, tell me about this as Magnus, the super tech guru, about
Goodness me.
about Purview
or something. Yeah.
And it will give you the technical explanation instead. So you can really make learning based on
at the level where you're at,
that you want, in the language that you want, in the
That's so
format that you want.
That's so good. I'm gonna actually start using that a little bit because I have a challenge. Tell me if I could use it for that. The challenge is that I need to let's say that I have many Azure subscriptions and different people are owners of these subscriptions. That person might be a project leader or a manager, right? They're not necessarily that technical. They can be technical, but it's maybe not their job. They're a project manager, not a technician. They have engineers for that. So if there is a challenge, let's say in one of the subscriptions that something is not secured enough or something like that, I may need to tell them that they have that responsibility, but I'd like to explain it to them in non-threatening, non-technical terms, right? Because the technical jargon that I would hit them with might be really threatening to them, or they might not listen or not understand. So I might want to explain it, but not technically.
Absolutely. You can get help then to craft your own communication based on the receiver.
Okay.
And you might do this based on role. You might also know about the personality. You might say that this is a very fact-based person, or this is a so you can really get help to craft your messaging, so we can communicate better with others based on how they would prefer to be communicated with.
Because that's so important, right? Because you have engineering problems and engineers that could potentially engineer a solution for the problem, right? But they're not the manager. The manager might not be that technical, right? I may be the manager. I can't do it, right? Because I don't understand the engineering language. It's Greek to me, right?
Yes. And now we can use Copilot to communicate
to bridge
better.
that gap. Interesting.
And this is where the original question that you asked: how can we get business users to love Copilot?
This is a good reason.
Well, the thing is, you can become a better version of yourself.
Gasp! Don't we all want to be a better version of ourselves?
And did you remember Microsoft's vision statement? I mean, they've changed it across the years. It started with information at your fingertips, but then it's like unlocking your full potential.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
That's good.
And this is really what I tell business users, that by using Copilot, you can unleash your own superpowers.
That's
you
awesome.
can become a better version of yourself, and you can really feel it. When you're using these tools, because at the end of the day, it is you, right?
Yeah,
it is you.
That's true.
You're prompting.
Yeah.
You're writing, but you're just a little bit better. You sound a little bit better. You are a little bit better.
You type a little bit from your own level of understanding at that point, and if you get something explained, you can go, "Oh, this thing here. Tell me more about that."
Exactly.
Right?
And now we're just in the very beginning of our journey with Copilot. So up until now, we've been able to use them to write better, to explain things, to get data. Now with Copilot agents, they're going to start doing things for us.
Oh,
now, you're like, oh, that's
wait
a little bit
wait a minute.
creepy.
Yeah.
But again, if we do it, if we embrace it with trust, and we can start thinking about, this manual thing that I do, I download this report, I fix the data in the columns, and then I share it with the team.
Wow.
That's like that. Why should I use my superpowers to sit and do manual, mundane work?
Got it.
And this is where we can use the agents for. So I can, really just see it as you you outsource the boring tasks that are
That's the
repetitive
hope, right?
and mundane,
Mhm.
and you can use your own creative, fantastic
I like
brain
it.
to do more impactful work.
And who of business users wouldn't like to do less of the boring? Oh, I have to format the report and do some bullshit, whatever, right? I have to spend time doing that, and I have tons of other things to do. Which business user wouldn't find that appealing?
Absolutely,
Right?
right. And what I see a lot of people that kind of shy away and they say, "This is stupid. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's not engineered properly."
Right.
And what I try to tell them always is that this is like having a colleague.
Yeah.
Magnus, have you ever hired like a new person in your company or in your line of business?
I mean, of course.
Yeah. Now, how is that person the first couple of days or weeks?
Well, they're of course confused with what we do exactly, and trying to understand where is that system and how does that work,
And
and
pretty useless, right?
yeah, pretty useless. Oh my
Useless.
God, pretty useless. That's harsh, but yeah.
No, but like in the beginning,
Yeah.
it's like having a colleague, and you have to get to know each other.
Oh, fair enough.
That person has to get to know you, your way of
That makes
working, and
sense.
the things that you're doing. And I tell everyone, this is the same thing with Copilot. You need to learn how to work together. It is not bad.
It's not automatic.
As long as you understand the benefits and the downsides, it's just like with any other person.
It makes
You
sense.
have to take the pros with the cons.
Of course.
But the overwhelmingly good about using Copilot and generative AI is absolutely, it overweighs.
Okay,
So
great.
get past that, like, oh, it's stupid. Oh, it doesn't do what I want to do.
It's because I can't use the tool.
It's because you haven't gotten to know each other yet.
Right, got it.
So
Got
it's
it,
part
makes
of
sense.
that, I shouldn't say honeymoon because maybe it's not a honeymoon.
That was creepy. but a grace period.
It's the learning curve, and it has definitely a bump, and you have to be aware of that. And just also something I say is that the technology now, it's as like bad as it ever will be. It just keeps learning and
Okay,
keeps
it's
getting better and better and
right,
better.
yeah, true.
So just
At
embrace
every
it
moment
now.
it's as bad as it ever will be, or
Yeah.
ever was.
Ever was.
Now will be
No,
better.
no.
Will be
Will
better,
be-
but it's
will
as
be
bad as
better.
yes, got it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Well, thank you very much for taking the time out of your schedule and out of your conference to come and talk to us about business users and how to make them fall in love with Copilot. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for
Enjoy the
being on the show.
conference.
Thanks. Thank you guys, and see you next time on the Cloud Show.